Hey Time Slicers, welcome to Slice Squad Spills. I'm your host, Nikki Wildflower. I went from a basement apartment to a multiple seven-figure empire. Now I'm here to share how you can do it too. Hi everyone, welcome to the Slice Squad Spills podcast. This is Nikki Wildflower and I'm here with my co-host / sister, Jackie. Today we have a really... Let me guess. What am I going to say? A really cool episode.
It's going to be the most amazing episode. This week, we have something so cool and special for you.
It's my current obsession, which is how to human, like literally how to communicate with other humans in a way that is conducive to them being their best self. But it really ties into so many things because here's why I really wanted to do this, because lately I've been taking so many trainings. Like, I had a training yesterday. It was really kind of about like masterminding and stuff like that, and like holding space for others. I have been to like multiple sales trainings. I have taken trainings on how to communicate with toddlers. I've taken leadership trainings, and all of these principles are generally the same around the board. So learning these principles and like really how to communicate people, I used to be really awkward and I used to not be a good communicator or a solid communicator. So I wouldn't even say like I'm a master at this. It's a constant like work in progress, but being able to show up for people in a way that holds the space for them to be the best version of themselves and to really like open up and be vulnerable with me and for me to be vulnerable with them is huge. That word shows up a lot, vulnerability. It's an art that I have been working through and learning and maybe paying forward to my team a little bit and my toddlers and my friends and my family, and in sales, even selling services and products and consultations, like all of these principles apply. So we're kind of going to like roll through those a little bit today. It's a huge topic of interest for me right now.
Yeah. Let's call it the art of communication and what it makes possible.
The art of communication and what it makes possible. My title for this episode was going to be how to talk to anyone.
Every time I teach a mindset class to the group, I name it like something like that. The art of blank and what it makes possible. The art of networking and what it makes possible. The art of communication. So how to talk to humans, or the art of communication and what it makes possible.
I think that something that always comes up in every single one of the trainings that I've done, which have been vast, and it's still something that I am working on, is just like really that art of actively listening to people when they're speaking. I think that this is like such a struggle, whether it be in consultations with clients, whether it be in you're trying to like sell retail, you're trying to sell a service or something like that. What ends up happening is that most people just hop in, and I used to be guilty of this, and you start saying like basically why you're amazing and they should choose you. Or if they're telling you a problem, that you just want to like jump in and fix it right away, instead of knowing that like what would actually help them solve that problem or empower them to make a decision would be you actively listening to them, which is really hard if you have ADHD. It is. It's hard.
It is 100% because we want to like connect and relate. Plus people with ADHD have a million thoughts, like 100 radio stations. Imagine 100 radio stations going on in your brain at the same time, and how hard it is to like remember even a thought that you're like, oh my gosh, they're talking. It brought something up in my brain and I want to say it.
Yeah. And it's just like, don't. 95% of the time, don't. And I just felt so inspired because even yesterday when I did my training, it just tied in so much to even what we learned in breathwork, which is just, you don't have to fix people's problems for them. You just have to hold the space for them you're just empowering them to fix the problems for themselves. And you can't do that when you jump in and give people advice, when most of the time that's not what they're asking for. They need somebody to listen to them and be there with them. And it is the same in sales. Like most people who are selling a service, like let's say you're selling extensions to somebody, hair extensions, or you want them to sit in your chair and get hair extensions. What most people will do is like, these are the best extensions that you could possibly have. Scalp health, no damage rate, da 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 da. And instead of doing that and getting into like this techno babble, which would what actually would sort of empower somebody to potentially become a client, is for you to really actively listen to their needs. And in order to do that, we want to ask the right questions. And we want to mirror back what they're saying, which is going to allow them to open up a little bit so that you can really get to the bottom of whether you have something that could potentially help them, not you, them. Like, why are you going to start spilling about scalp health and stuff if nobody even said shit about that? People don't care about you or your product. They care about themselves and their problems. And that's not meaning that they're selfish. It's just the way that our brains are wired.
Yeah, exactly. And it's empowering, I think, in sales as well to actively listen and not just like make a pitch on something that doesn't make sense for that client, right? Here's an example. You hold space for someone to speak. What are you struggling with your hair right now? Like, what has strayed you away from the idea or thought of extensions? Allow them to speak. I hear you, engage, nod. Yes, I'm here with you. I can hear what you're saying. And then mirroring or repeating it back, like, okay, so what I heard was you struggle with the idea of taking care of something high maintenance, and you're also looking for confidence in the volume of your hair. You're feeling maybe like a lack of confidence in thinning hair, right? And what that looks like. So they speak into all of the reasons why maybe they don't want to sit for a long time for hair extensions. They've been afraid to get them because they're like kind of a low maintenance person. They don't want to have to take care of them. But one of their main issues is that they're feeling a lack of confidence, right, in their appearance because their hair is thinning. Now, once you hear all of those things, it's a lot easier to confidently say, okay, I have just the right thing for you. I know exactly the solution for you, and I have it right here in my space. Isn't that fucking cool? So in sales, it's empowering too, because then you're kind of like, well, I know that I actually really listened and I connected with this person, and now I'm confident that what I have is what they need, rather than I just like pre-pitched and oversold myself. It doesn't feel good to do that.
You know what's interesting? I was actually just reading so I have read so many things about mirroring and like showing that you're actively listening to people. And one of the things that I just read that I found interesting, because I would always say what I'm hearing is, and Chris Voss, who is like a former hostage negotiator, he wrote the book Never Split the Difference. But I was listening to his masterclass because I have a masterclass membership. I was listening to his masterclass, and what he said was that saying I heard makes it about you. So he says to say it sounds like.
Okay. I like that. I feel like I switch it up, like on how I repeat back. Sometimes I'll ask, like, can I summarize what I heard from you? Like, just back to you to make sure that I'm hearing it correctly. But yeah, I guess I'm still saying I heard. Oh my gosh. You're giving
But
me
then
another
yesterday
thing
I
to
did
think about.
then yesterday I did a training, and it was all about like I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that. So like
Mm-hmm.
it's not like an absolute. I think it kind of depends on like what the situation is. Like, are you in a business negotiation? Are you in a sales call? Are you speaking to one of your friends? Are you coaching somebody? Like, but regardless, these principles are the same. So like one of those things. So for example, what mirroring looks like to me, let's say this is a hair consultation. Jackie, will you pretend to be a client?
Okay.
Let's say that this is somebody who wants hair extensions that doesn't have hair extensions right now, and she like reached out to me on Instagram, and I'm doing a consultation with this person. So the first thing that I'm really going to do is, because I want to get to the bottom of like what her needs are. Otherwise, I'm going to throw this heavy price tag at her, and she's going to be like, what the hell? And run away. And that's fine too. But like, it's because most people make it about why that happens is because most people make it about them instead of the potential client. So, hey, Jackie, I saw that you are, I read in your notes that you are looking to get some hair extensions done. What got you excited about hair extensions?
I've noticed that with stress that my hair has just been like falling out, and I'm noticing like a big difference in just like the volume, I guess, and the amount of hair that I have on my head.
The amount of hair that's on your head?
Yeah, it just feels like I've lost a lot of hair.
It feels like you have lost a lot of hair. What makes you feel like that?
Well, I see it coming out in clumps in the shower, and when I blow dry my hair, I feel like it just looks thin, and I am not feeling like as confident as I once had with the volume of hair that I have.
How long have you been dealing with that hair loss?
I think probably since COVID, it's been happening. So now it just feels like I've lost like a lot of my hair.
Since COVID. So
Hmm.
you've lost a lot of hair. So there, do you feel like there's a noticeable difference?
Oh yeah, 100%.
What have you tried so far to remedy that?
I've been using this weird like comb that I saw on Tik that I got from TikTok shop that like massages your scalp and it's supposed to regenerate hair growth, but it's definitely just not. I think I need a like faster solution for right now because I can't wait for more hair to generate and grow. I want to feel confident right now.
Yeah, you want to feel confident right now. On a scale of like 1 to 10, how important is it for you to fix this issue that you've been having?
Yeah, I'm ready to fix it. Like 10 out of 10.
Okay. So you feel like it's something that you want to do now, immediately, yesterday.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yesterday.
got
Yeah.
it. So what I'm doing with Jackie here is just listening to her, mirroring her and getting her to open up a little bit so I can get to the core of what her problem is. Not saying like, "Hey, these are the extensions. This is what they'll do." I know that Jackie's primary concern right now is that they're lacking confidence because they've lost hair from COVID. Now, I haven't even dived in and looked at Jackie's hair yet for the most part, but that's another part. Like I would want to like get my hands in there and make sure there's no active shedding or anything like that, because then we're not going to put extensions in her hair. But if that's not the case, then they probably would be a good candidate. Regardless of that, this is really about having them open up and like kind of getting them in that place to take action. So Jackie, I understand like you've tried, so it sounds like you've tried that. Have you tried any other extensions before?
I've worn like clip-ins before and I do like the way that they look, but obviously I have to take them out and put them back in every day. So it's not really the most ideal situation.
Okay. Yeah, that's not ideal for you. What got you interested in these specific types of extensions that I do? Like what made you come to my page?
Well, I noticed that they I think that I saw in your marketing that they install quicker. I just don't have a lot of time, you know.
I have a lot
So,
of time.
yeah.
So you feel like sitting in the chair for a long period of time is not in the cards for you?
No, it's not. And I
Okay.
really honestly don't even have more than like 2 hours to sit
2 hours,
at any
yeah.
given moment, yeah.
So these particular ones appeal to you because of the time saving, and extensions appeal to you in general because you want to get that confidence back without having to take them in and out every day.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Cool. Cool. Got it. At this point, what I would do is really like understand. Okay, so I have a pretty good idea, Jackie. People like to hear their names, by the way. And they like eye contact and they like smiles, because smiles, oxytocin, eye contact, mirror, like really sort of like matching their energetic level, 10 out of 10 for me. Like I'm going to show up, yeah, all the time. And like, I have to take a step back and make sure that like I am making people comfortable to open up to me. And people like people who are like them. People are more inclined to open up to people who are like them. And so not in like a I'm not being authentic, I'm faking it, but like if somebody comes to you and they've got this like really calm demeanor about them, if you show up and like start getting up in their face, it's going to make them really uncomfortable.
100%. I want to speak into that really quick because I also find myself to be like an excited and excitable person. And yeah, I just want to be like, hey, I love you to everybody. And this really cool concept of remaining neutral in certain moments and being like unassuming is really helpful for people to, like you said, like not feel like they have to be acting in a certain way, like just to show up in the way that they're showing up. So one specific example is, let's say you do someone's hair, you do so for me it translated with massage therapy. After the session, I would always be like, when someone walks out of the room, like, how you feeling? But that, like, what do you think that they're going to say to me? They're going to be like, good, because I came off with the highest energy and kind of am forcing them. That's not really open ended. That's like, you're excited, so should I now act excited even if I don't feel good? So this neutral tone of like, how do you feel? Just like
Mm-hmm.
more like a question, like, how do you feel? It opens space for someone to be more honest when you could be more neutral, and not kind of like try to shift or morph their energy to yours. So neutral tone, like, how are you? Like showing up neutral first. And then if someone is like, I feel great, then it's like, okay, great. I'm with you. I'm going to match that. Or, if someone feels great, I'm going to match that energy then and go back up. But if someone's like, I'm still not feeling great, my back still hurts and I'm still not feeling great. And when you can show up in a neutral way, like with massage, for example, after the session, it just allows that person to be honest with where they're at. And then, yeah, if they do if they're like, yes, I feel amazing, amazing, great. I'm so stoked. I might match that. If they're like, I'm still not feeling great, I may stay at that neutral tone with them and work on problem solving from there. Maybe resource them in some other ways, ask them more open-ended questions, and then send them home with maybe an exercise to do, right? So that's another really great way, is just to like remain neutral and don't assume or expect people to show up in a certain energy level.
Yeah, exactly. So learning how to meet somebody where they are is really important in just like every level of communication. And the desire for us to like want to jump in and add to the story and fix it, like regardless of what scenario we're in, whether it be in like a leadership role, whether it be to a client or potential client, whether it be to anybody in our life, it really doesn't matter. What matters is that humans have this tendency to really be like, so that's what I did with Jackie. Now, Jackie, I have a really good understanding of what you've tried before now. So if all goes well and this is something that we decide we want to move forward with, what look are you hoping to achieve?
I think I just would love some long, wavy locks. Just like mermaid hair is kind of what I'm hoping for.
Long, wavy mermaid hair. What is
Yes.
it about? And assume, because I like to at least like have a picture that I'm looking at with people. But okay, what is it about this picture that is really speaking to you?
It looks natural enough. I mean, I want it to look natural, but also like, whoa, at the same time, like voluminous, voluminous,
Voluminous, voluminous.
and kind of like eye catching, but also like, is she wearing extensions or is she not wearing extensions? It's kind of where I'm at. I want it to be like I want to walk into a room and be like, bam, with my long mermaid hair, but then there to kind of be that question: is it real or is it Maybelline?
Is it extensions? Yeah. Okay. I totally understand. Like that looks natural, but how could it be that perfect kind of thing? I got it. Absolutely. That is something I've looked at your hair at this point. I have a really good idea. I don't feel any active shedding within your hair. You said it was important for you to have this done in a timely manner. So I just want to reassure you that when we do these extensions, I will be able to install these in about 45 minutes. If we're able to get you to that picture, is that something that you would be looking to move forward with?
Girl, say less. I'm in.
All right, cool. Now, let me walk you through a little bit like how this process is going to work. From here, I'm going to color match you to make sure that we're getting it right on track with what your color is. I am going to be sending you home after we install them, if you should choose to do that today, because I did block off enough time for us to do that today. And since you said you want to like go right in for it, we have the potential to do that. With that being said, in order to achieve this look for you, I'm going to need 2 full rows of extensions and a couple of little ones on the side. So for today, in order for me to achieve this look for you, for your first time investment for the hair, which is going to last the hair itself, if you care for it in the way that we instruct you to, it's going to last 12 to 15 months. And I will send you home with a home care kit as well to make sure that that's possible for you. And what I will have you do is come in every 4 to 8 weeks to have them moved up and get you on that schedule. So it's going to look different on that basis. So your first time investment for the hair and the install is going to be, and then you drop the price. Now, if this price is like $3,000, let's say, most clients' faces are going to drop into the ground, right? But you just, instead of being like, okay, or we could just do 1 row and we could get a similar look, and that would be this much, instead of doing that and panicking, you just let them sit with that for a second And listen, like if it's not aligned, you can try to work with them on a smaller package. You don't emotionally discount. You can work with them on a smaller package, or you could resource them out. But you got them excited. You understood where they were coming from. So here is how most people communicate with clients or potential clients. This is what most people do. Hey, Jackie.
Hey.
So I saw your like virtual form that you filled out, and you said that you wanted extensions. So can you show me the picture that you're looking at?
Yeah, sure. This is the inspiration photo.
Cool. You're looking to get these extensions done now?
Well, I just want to, yeah, I'm interested for sure. I just want to learn a little bit more about them.
Okay. So these extensions, like you specifically want these kind that I do, slice strands?
Yeah, I think so. I was drawn in by the time saving. I'm interested for sure.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you're really gonna love these if you like the time saving thing. So it's really only gonna take me about 10 minutes per row to put in your hair. And we really scalp health is really important to us. So everything that we do, it's made to keep your scalp like really nice and healthy. It's the highest quality of hair. These are gonna last like 12 to 15 months. So you're not going to have to keep buying hair on top of that. They're custom colored so that we have like a really cool selection of different colors that you could do. Now,
Like I have checked out as a client.
exactly.
I've checked
Because
out.
I somehow made that I'm techno babbling about shit she doesn't care about. I didn't get to the core of her problem and what she actually cares about. I'm telling her a bunch of shit she doesn't need to know, and I'm making it about me and my product and not about her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not empowering for people.
No.
And it doesn't help them make decisions.
Everyone wants to be listened to. Everyone wants to be heard and seen. That is human nature. Whether you're shy, whether you identify as shy or introverted or extroverted, no matter who you want to be seen and heard and understood. At least some people by everyone, some people by just specific people, right? Like who really matter to them. So when you are working with a person in a one-on-one setting or space, no matter what you're doing, giving them your focus and attention and asking the right questions and like keeping an open door and just hearing and seeing and understanding that person, it makes long-term connections possible. Like, yeah, maybe you can sell the product, right? The one time, but can you like maintain that relationship through continued active listening? Checking in like an authentic way, asking like what people didn't like about prior experiences with this sort of service. Like we all want to be heard. That's it. I just want to like drive that home. We all want to be heard. We all want to be seen, and we all want to be understood. So how can you make people feel seen, heard, and understood?
Yeah, it's a mixture. It's that mirroring and that building rapport. It is your body language and your eye contact with them and having that ability to be fully present with people. I think that it's an art, and it's something that we will constantly continue to be working on always. And I feel really like this is not something that I've been working on my entire life. I used to be like a chronic oversharer. I was awkward, and then I would like get out of situations or like out of a social setting, and I'd be like, why did I just tell those people that? Like they didn't know I was annoying back there, Like what was my intention of sharing that information? And when I really started like working on my communication in every capacity in my life, whether that be like my romantic relationship, whether that be with my kids and leadership and stuff. I'm not perfect, and I'm not here to be perfect, but I'm going to continue working on this and holding myself accountable and accepting feedback as well. So that's another thing. Even let's say that you are like a coworker or somebody that works for me or something like that. Let's say that you came in and you're having a really bad day personally, and we all do this, right? Well, I used to. I don't do it anymore. But let's say, Jackie, pretend that you are my coworker.
I am, girl, but yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay, pretend that you are my coworker. You're right. Well, pretend that we work at a hair salon.
Okay.
Let's say Jackie is going through like a hard time. Personally, Jackie works with me, or Jackie works for me. Let's say I'm a salon owner and Jackie works for me. And I have been noticing that Jackie is not hitting, like hasn't had any clients and hasn't like been doing anything to even bring in new clients. And I know that I need to have a conversation about this with the person instead of just building resentment and being like, oh, effing lazy. This new generation, they don't have the drive. Do you know that for sure? Is that factual information or is that a story? Okay. So what I want to do if I'm that salon owner, and again, like I'm not perfect at it, but I would say, hey Jackie, I've wanted to take a little bit of time to just catch up with you and talk to you. Is now a good time to have like a 10-15 minute conversation?
No. Do you
That
want me
is
to say yes? But like that's actually valid that someone might
no,
say
no is
no
okay
is
as well.
not a good time. No, I don't know that I have the capacity for feedback right now.
Yeah, okay. But that's not what I want to do in this exercise.
Well, what would you do then? What would you do then?
I would say, yeah, I hear you. You're not in a place that you could like receive information right now. Is there time that we can circle back to this in the future? Like, can we set a time now?
Yes, I do have the space.
Okay, awesome. I've been like really meaning to have a conversation with you, and I think it's really important that we have the conversation. I have been noticing, well, actually first let me just check in. How are things going for you right now?
I'm struggling in my personal life and I'm feeling just a lack of motivation.
Feeling a lack of motivation. Well, what do you feel like might be causing that lack of motivation?
I'm just overwhelmed in my personal life.
Yeah, so you're feeling overwhelmed in your personal life.
Hmm.
And does that feel like it's like spilling into your work life a little bit?
Yeah, it's like all consuming for me right now. It's like really hard to show up every day.
Okay. So you're finding it hard to just like show up and be present?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Okay. I just want to be honest with you and say like, hey, I do see that there may be something going on outside of work that could be affecting this. And I know that times are really hard for you. And it is also frustrating for me because I've watched your books kind of like go down and down. So, what I want to do is really like work through this together and see what support from me would look like for you.
Can I give feedback?
Yeah.
um, s- I would. I feel like knowing that this person is struggling like this, maybe start with green. So like that's the way I kind of approach a situation is with like starting and leading with positives. Like I want to thank you for showing up like I hear you're going through a hard time right now. And I'm glad that you're here and thank you for sharing that. You're an amazing asset. You're an amazing asset and I want to support you in getting back to a place where you feel motivated again. So
But I didn't ask her. I didn't ask her yet if there was something going on. So she doesn't know that I'm noticing that.
what do you mean?
Like I didn't say like, "Hey, can we have a conversation about your lack of motivation?"
Oh, no, I after the fact where you asked the question. Where you
Yeah.
asked the question, and like if the person were to say to me after I asked, like open the door, yeah, I'm really struggling in my personal life, and I have a lack of motivation. So I'm talking about like at this point beyond, like before making the I statements, personally have found like in leadership that people respond well to green first, right? Like thank you for sharing that. I hear you. I understand. And I'm sorry you're going through a hard time. I'm happy you're here. Green, 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 green. Then that's how I would approach it. But we are different humans.
Yeah. No, I definitely like see the value in that too. I'm just like, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Like I'm not like a fluffer. I don't really like to fluff. I'm just like I want to like show up for you and ask you questions and show my support. So I'm more like I just kind of want to like learn a little bit what's going on and like just give you the permission to share. So there's some things like going on in your personal life that you feel like might be affecting you at work.
Definitely affecting just like every aspect of my life.
Affecting. Yeah. So you really feel like it's spilling into all over the place right now.
Hmm.
Okay. Is that something that you want to speak through with me? I want you to know that you have my support and that I really value you and want to work through this with you. And at the same time, I also, want to make sure that the company is meeting its goals that that we're held to. So it is important for us to really work through this. So my question for you is ideally, like, what would support from me look like to help bring you back into that space?
I don't know. I'm just very overwhelmed right now. I don't even know. And I'm sorry, like that it is affecting the company. And I understand I'm, not showing up in the way that is needed. I don't even know what support looks like right now or how to move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So I understand that you're just like feeling really overwhelmed. So it might even be hard to think of what a solution could be for something like this. Is this an area that you feel like you want support in?
Yeah, I tend to like shut down when I'm going through a hard time and like not ask for the support, but I definitely think that I'm hitting a point where I need it for sure.
I want to be able to show up for you and to support you through this. And at the same time, like I need to understand like a little bit what your needs are. And I know that you might not have an answer to that right now, but I need a little bit of like direction so that I can show you that support and we can come up with an action plan to like work through this together. And I don't just mean for work. I mean, I want to help you find the resources that, or maybe that's taking a little bit of time off, helping you lead you in the right direction of resources that could be helpful for you, or giving you the time and space to do some healing and self-reflection.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm open to that. I think just maybe taking some time off would be really helpful just to
Yeah.
get grounded.
Absolutely. I completely understand that. So, ideally, what would that look like for you, having a little bit of time off?
I honestly think just like a week off would
Okay.
be huge. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We can make that happen for you. And I just want you to know that like I'm here to support you. I want to work through this. I want to give you a little bit of space to do some introspection and get to a place where you feel like you can be here and be present. And I don't want to dismiss what you're going through in your personal life right now because I do know that can be really difficult to suppress.
Hmm.
So yeah, like a conversation like that sucks.
It's hard.
Because, like, right now, with what's going on in this person's personal life, like, it doesn't even feel like she wants to be here or work, right?
She's
And
checked out.
she's checked out. And so, yeah, we're going to give her the week off. We're going to support to the best of our ability. Does it mean that she's going to come back and be refreshed and that it's going to be a good fit?
I don't
No,
know for sure.
we
Yeah.
don't know. We don't
Yeah.
know. But I think a lot of people jump directly to like, she's a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah. It's like each person, like, keep this in mind. Because I think like humans have like a me complex. We all have like a God complex in a sort of way because our lives are centered around us. No matter how like empathetic you are and how much you care about other people, like your life is centered around you. And there are like expectations that you do have and stories and belief systems that you do have no matter what. Each person, though, has their own set of belief systems, their own story, and their own life that they are trying to navigate. Have you considered, like, is this person doing the best that they can with what they have right now? The answer is very likely yes. Are there people who end up checking out because they're like maybe afraid to quit? Yeah. And that's a different situation. But when someone on your team is truly struggling, struggle doesn't equal laziness. It's just something that's happening, right? And they're probably just doing the best that they can with what they have. So can you like soften up, hold space and ask how you can support them or what support looks like? What do they need?
Most people don't like show up and think like I'm gonna be shitty at my job today. Like
No.
that's people like assume that people just have like the worst intentions, and I'm like most people are really just like out here doing what they feel is a good job, and it's on us to be number one. It's on us to be clear when that's not the case in a kind and empathetic way, of course, and to give them action steps and to show that we are supportive of them. And at the same time, like this person might come back and this might not be like a good fit because at the end of the day, like I do have to run this business, right? So what I can do is offer this person support, let them take the time off that they feel like they need and sort of try to work through them with it. and be very clear about what the expectation will be moving forward, which I'm always extremely clear about, like what my expectations are from people. Well, I try to be anyway. Not that I've always been, but I'm very clear about that. I try to understand like what's going on and like how I can support, especially if it's a workplace thing. Sometimes it is time off. Sometimes it's additional training. Sometimes, but those conversations are important. You can't just let resentment build up for people and think like this person's lazy or they suck when like you haven't fucking communicated with them. You haven't even taken the time to hear them. And, you know, again, this is like a constant work in progress. So I'm still not perfect at it. And I try to like, I've had to have like so many conversations where it's like, you know, this is the expectation and this is where we're at right now. Let them speak into it a little bit, meet them with empathy, hold that space for them instead of like just because we all know that I could like go full Tony Robbins on you and start giving you advice about like, you can do this, you can. And it's not going to be, that's maybe not what this person needs right now. They didn't ask me for that.
No, sometimes like when you approach certain people in that way, and this is what's cool about the art of mirroring. It's like, how does this person receive information? Are they more like analytical? Are they more heart-centered? Are they, so like kind of reading the room. Some people need Tony Robbins and they want it. They want like tough love and they want really like strong direction. Other people need you to match them with empathy and open your heart and hold space and not give advice, because it feels like then you're telling them there's something wrong with them or you're trying to fix, which is never a good boundary, right? To like try to fix or offer advice without asking, are you looking for me to hold space? Or are you looking for me to solve this problem with you? In a leadership role, like there does have to be a solution and action steps, of course. But that it might look different for every person. Like you may need to like some people might need more space. I need to be an initial conversation space and a follow-up conversation where other people may respond very well to direct, actions. Okay, let's make it better today then. So learning, it's a skill set that you can build, is like learning, what does this person need? Like what energy level, what sort of direction? Like, have I learned from speaking a certain way to this human in the past? Have I been open to feedback on that? And what do they truly need from me? And for the most part, it's just listening, right? And it all goes back to like just listening first, and then kind of figuring it out from there.
And then figuring out a solution.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just like a doctor would. I think about it. Like you're not just gonna you don't just go to the doctor and they're like, hey, I heard you've got a headache. This is what you need. They're going to like dig in there and figure out like the core of what's going on. Well, if they're a good doctor, they're going to figure out the core of what's going on. Yeah. And then offer, hey, here's what I think would be a good solution. It's really that. And just like it goes hand in hand with everything. One of the practices that I did in the training I was at yesterday was really just about being able to, instead of like jumping in to try and like fix people's problems, actively listening to them and maybe sharing briefly an experience that might resonate, that might send off some light bulbs, right? Instead of being like, well, here's what I think you should do.
Most people, I mean, for me, I hate when people give me unsolicited advice. So I end up not sharing. When I'm like struggling and I just want to vent, I'm like, I'm just not going to vent to anyone, because everyone's going to try to fix this, and I already know how to. Sometimes I just need to like speak and vent and like speak into what's going on and just be heard. I don't want the solution. I know the solution. I've done all my research on this one. I'm in therapy. I don't need a solution. I need a person to like stand by my side and like understand, just hear me. And this looks like this. I would love to do a really quick, what does it look like to hold space instead of offer advice or try or fix or solve a problem? Nikki, can you come at me as like just a human in my life? You could be a friend, a client, it doesn't matter. Just someone, you trust me and you're coming to me. You're going through it right now. Ring, ring.
Hey,
what's up?
Nothing. What's going on?
I'm just working, but I was about to take a break. What are you up to?
I don't know. I'm just having like a really bad freaking day.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to talk about it?
I don't know.
I mean, I could hold space for you. I could give you advice if you want. Like, if you just want to like let it out, I'm here for that too.
So, yeah, I guess I'm just gonna let it out. So I woke up this morning and like immediately I fell like out of bed. Like I fell. And like I went downstairs and I had like a water bottle sitting on the stairs and I accidentally kicked it down the stairs and it shattered everywhere. And then I stepped on the glass and it like went into my foot. And then the kids woke up and they were just like screaming. And I don't even know. Like it is just, I'm just feel like I'm like panicking. Like why is my life so chaotic?
Damn, we're friends. So I'm just gonna like I might like match someone, like my life's so chaotic. So damn, sounds like you've had a hell of a day, my friend. I'm sorry that you're going through that. It does sound really hard.
Allison really did like this water bottle story like is real.
I don't even want to tell you like the amount of shit we've broken in this house over the past couple of days for some reason. But so when you said that, I'm like, yeah. But I might just say something like, yeah, that sounds pretty rough. Sounds like you're having a rough day. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It just freaking sucks. Like I feel like I never get a break. Like ever. I feel like I never get a fucking break. Like it's always I'm either working or I'm with the kids or I'm being a wife or I'm being a friend like to everybody else, but like what about me? You know? Like what about me? I don't actually feel like this just so you know. Like I don't feel like that at all. Like I have learned the art of like treat yourself.
We're playing, we're
Um,
acting.
yeah. But I keep giving like real life like circumstances.
I get that. Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, I'm glad that you took a minute to call me.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm gonna have a meaty bee if I don't talk to someone.
Do you want me to give any like advice at all?
No, not really, because like I know like what to do. I just like I feel like I just need to like actually like set apart time for myself and like get a babysitter once a week or something like that, so that I can like have a little bit of time, like go get a effing massage or something. Like I just need that time and space for myself.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally get that. I relate. If I won't give you advice. I'm here. You can vent to me anytime. I hope you know that. And I'm with you. And if you'd like any sort of support, like or like a friend to go get a massage with or an excuse, I'm more than happy to support you in that way. If you want to go do it together, I could use some self-care myself.
Yeah, that's great. Like, so that's all like I really needed in that moment. One of the things that I learned yesterday was to like let them vent and like hear them, and then be like, I have actually, I can relate. Last year, there was this point where I just felt like I was gonna implode, and I felt like if I took on one more thing or like if I heard the kids crying one more time that I was just gonna like freak out and like have a nervous breakdown. Luckily, like what I was able to do was, find a therapist who like I can talk to about these things. And what ended up working for me after speaking with my therapist was, I ended up every day setting aside like some time for myself. Even though it seemed impossible at the time, I found time where like I thought I was busy, but it wasn't busy necessarily doing like things that mattered, right? I was saying yes to a lot of things that I didn't need to be saying yes to. And so what I ended up being able to do, and they teach you like not to do this for more than 3 minutes. Like
Yeah,
don't turn it into like the you
no,
show.
don't turn in right, exactly.
Yeah. And what I ended up doing was being able to set apart that time, and I started doing breath work and just like exercising a little bit in that time and just doing things that I knew would enhance my own life and well-being. And because of that, I was able to show up much better in other aspects of my life.
So like that's helpful, right? Because then your friend might be like a spark might fly. Oh, you said you were seeing a therapist. Maybe this friend has never considered therapy before.
Did I
Yeah.
tell you to go to therapy?
Nope,
No.
you just shared your experience. Exactly. Like, have you considered going to a therapist? It's like, yeah, maybe I fucking have. Okay.
And it was so hard because in exercises, like putting it into action, when somebody was spilling to me like about what's happening in their life yesterday, it was so difficult not to be like, have you thought about this? And instead just be like, here, here, here. I can relate. There was this time, and that's what they needed.
Like even when you do go into your relatable story, like I read this when I was going through a time like that, I read this book that like changed my life. If you like to read, I'm more than happy to like send you the
But
link,
see,
or you
we
could
were not
borrow the
allowed to.
book.
We were never allowed to say the word "you."
What do you mean?
We were only when we
Oh,
were
because it's like that's straight up that's just listening and not. So it's kind of like troika.
because because you're not being unbiased. You have an agenda, which is to get me to read that book.
Yeah. So just no advice whatsoever is that exercise. No consulting, no advice, no resourcing either.
Nope. There will be a time for that later if it's like something that they want problem solving with. But no, it's not. It's not that. Like we're peers. I'm calling you as a friend.
I would resource a friend though to a book or a therapist if like
No, I would
if
too, but I'm
yeah.
saying like what I learned yesterday is like maybe that's not helpful. You can tell them that you read that book. But like also when people are like, you should read this book, I'm like, go fuck yourself.
No, I would never say you should read the book. I always would just say like this book helped me, you know.
And I'm more likely instead of saying like if you ever want to borrow it, I'm more likely to be like, wait, what did you say what that book was that you used?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because
See?
I don't feel pressured. I don't feel pressured to read it myself, you know?
Yeah.
So I think this stuff is so intriguing. I could talk about it for like
I know we've been
hours.
in this is a very long episode. We never filmed this long. I love like learning in this capacity because it's like psychology at the end of the day. It's very interesting like how different humans like automatically show up and then like how you can get better at that. And I just think psychology is so cool. I want to do one more point. Like during somatic breathwork practitioner training, I think even just like when someone comes at you, maybe they're like, and this is someone you really love, they come at you and they're like, I'm really struggling in this way. And it's like concerning for you, like what's happening for them, right? Like I cannot, like I drank every single day last week and I don't know what to do. Our automatic response is going to be, I need to help this person because I care about them. It's not like your intentions are bad, right? By caring about them and wanting to help fix. Like a partner, like someone you're married to or someone you've been in a relationship with for a long time, they're very likely going to want to fix because they love you. They love you.
Oh, I thought they were saying they want you to fix it. And I'm like, not really.
No. They're going to want to fix you because they love you. And they're going to probably give you that unsolicited advice or you're going to tell them something. They'll be like, well, here's what you need to do. Meeting anyone when they're like feeling safe enough to come to you with something like that, that's big, right? And that's private and something that they've probably been hiding. If they're coming to you with something that big and your immediate response is a solution, the message that you're sending their nervous system is you're broken. There's something wrong with you and here's how you need to fix it. And the more you show up for people like that over and over again, the more their nervous system gets the message, I'm broken, I'm broken, I'm broken, I'm broken, I need to do better. When you can show up for someone like, I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for bringing this to me. I'm so happy that you felt safe to bring this forward and match them there and then ask and see how you can support. Like, listen, I'm not saying that if someone needs an intervention, you shouldn't give them one, right? But this is like a circumstance where one person comes to you in confidentiality with something that is big. They're coming to you, not you're doing an intervention with them. Listen, don't fix. Don't fix. They're not broken. They're just doing the best they can with what they have. And they felt safe enough. What an honor. They felt safe enough to come to you.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And I really loved this episode. I know it's a little bit on the longer side, and I think it's really valuable stuff. Of course, we really just abundant gratitude for everybody that listens to this podcast, or if you're watching it on YouTube, that's cool too. Please, it would mean a lot to us. Right now, like we're not sponsored or anything like that, but in the future we might be if you guys like it enough and like actually like leave comments and stuff like that and engage. That would be really sweet. Right now, it's something we do for fun.
We just out here.
Yeah, and yeah, so thank you so much. And of course, as always, like if you feel like you want to take the conversation further with ourselves and our team to like grow your business or your leadership skills or hair skills, we're going to leave the links for you to book your interview calls and see if we could possibly help you.
Absolutely. Thank you for listening. This was a really fun episode. I hope you enjoyed it.
I have to pee so bad.
Oh, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Slice Squad Spills. If you're enjoying the show, please subscribe, leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback is going to help us improve and attracts more listeners to the show. Please share with your fellow time slicers. And hey, if you're ready to optimize your time and double your income, we've got you covered.